the water is so muddy right now that the Warriors don't even have a complete roster to put a team on the court.
Yeah.
And if you're the players that are on the roster right now and you're working out, you're getting ready for the season, how does that, you try not to let the business get to you, but how do you, if you're a player, how do you not feel like JK is holding the franchise hostage?
Well, I think that's a great segue because you had mentioned the Warriors and the amount of miles and trips that they put into it, but they are recently in some good news here, however you want to take this. But looks like the Warriors have given another offer to JK, Jonathan Kuminga. They have offered him a 3-year, $75.2 million contract with a team option on the last year. It's definitely a little bit of bitterness between the two. The most recent, headline quote came out with the owner for the Warriors, Joe Lacob, asking Kuminga if he wants to be here, and Kuminga responding, "Do you even want me here?" So, at this point, I think of the Saga. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I as much as I love JK, and I think there's still a lot of untapped potential with JK. We do get on his case a lot when it comes to making just simple decisions of hustling sometimes. But I think at this point, I would be happy with him to see greener pastures, and maybe a new scenery could change what is, I think it's just at this point tarnished over here. I think if you can get that deal, this deal is definitely done in favor, in my opinion, for a trade down the road that another team could take this contract and it's not going to be such a burden on them. So I think I think that's the angle that they're trying to go with to convincing Kuminga. They're like, hey, look, it's not what you asked for, but we'll get you to another team. And then if this will be easier for them to do that, and they can sign you with an extension. Right. So tell me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of what it feels like to me at this point.
I mean, I think the waters are so muddied now that it's beyond right and wrong, or who's right, who's wrong. I think they did this to themselves, the franchise and Jonathan Kuminga. I've been saying this for a very long time. We all see the talent that Jonathan Kuminga has, but I ask myself this all the time. And I ask other Golden State Warrior fans this: what game or stretch of games has Jonathan Kuminga dominated, beginning to end, all 4 quarters, where he deserves this type of contract or this type of investment to be the guy, to be the one that says, okay, Steph, okay, Jimmy Butler, okay, Draymond Green, you guys are going to have to step aside because he's just too damn good. He's just too damn good. When was that stretch of games? We've seen a quarter, we've seen a half of really good basketball, but I haven't seen a whole game. I haven't seen a stretch of games for him to come into the Golden State Warriors office and have this type of outlook that you need to hand me the bag and hand me the keys to this franchise. I understand he wants a place on the roster. He wants a defined role. You're not starting over those guys. You're not.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, to get to the meats of it, I mean, he's willing to go down to $20 million a year, but he wants a player option. And I'm just sorry, you're just not going to get a player option. Like, you're not going to hold this franchise, basically at gunpoint to wherever you want to go, because it's not how it'll work. It's just, I think at this point, he hasn't shown enough to get that equity. Like, if Steph tomorrow was like, hey, I want to go play in Charlotte, but I want to re-sign contract and I want a player options, I'm going to be here for like the next 2 years and I'm going to do a 1-and-1. Joe Lacob signs that deal for him. Hey, thank you for what you did, man. I appreciate it. You get off our books on that one, but yeah, absolutely, man. If you want to go play at Charlotte or wherever else you want to go play in Cleveland where you were born, whatever, right? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I just think you got to get that equity, and Kuminga have not gotten that equity. Also on that note too, the qualifying offer that they initially gave to him, or at least they tendered out to him, the $7.9 million, has to be accepted by October 1st. Other than that, it goes into a bidding war after that. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Vince? Is it just time to move on from Kuminga?
Probably. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But I'm definitely over it. I just want this to be done. Whatever the solution is, just get it done. If it's the 2 for 45, if it's this 3 for 75 that they are offering now, if it's just the qualifying offer, I genuinely don't give a damn anymore. I'm over it. Let's just wrap it up. Whatever the solution is, if they just cut him loose, let him go. You know,
I don't know if they do that though. You gotta get something.
Yeah, you gotta get.
I think where what Vince is alluding to a little bit though is, like I was saying earlier, the muddy is the water is so muddy right now that the Warriors don't even have a complete roster to put a team on the court. Yeah. And if you're the players that are on the roster right now and you're working out, you're getting ready for the season, how does that, you try not to let the business get to you, but if you're a player, how do you not feel like JK is holding the franchise hostage where you can't bring in Al Horford, you can't bring in GP2, you know, there's all this rumors that there's agreements with certain players, but they can't do it. And now those free agent players are starting to get a little frustrated because it's not coming together. So it's not just like Jonathan Kuminga's bag, it's like other people's bag. And what team are we going to field onto the court? So even if he signs the qualifying offer, I think there's going to be drama in the locker room. I don't know if it's Jordan Poole drama, but I think there's going to be some drama. And I think no matter what contract he signs, he's getting shipped out at some point. He's not going to be a Golden State Warrior for very long. I don't think he gets cut for nothing coming back. But I think,
right.
You know, they did this to themselves. The Warriors had offers that they could have made this trade, you know, last year in the offseason. They could have, you know, they had options, but now it's
that's something to Joe Lacob though. Like he's much of a fan like we are, right? But that sometimes I think that comes to bite him in the ass because he loved JK. I mean, maybe it's a little tarnished right now, but there's a reason why he was saying he is untouchable. And
I think he was enamored with his own Johnny Lightyear's thing of like, we're so far ahead. We got Steph. We're going to win now. And we got James Wiseman and all these other guys. And I think for him, it was holding on to JK represented a future superstar that was also drafted and developed. And then that transition of Steph to a younger generation. And that is so rare. That is so rare that franchises, you know, what the 49ers did with quarterbacks, right? Montana and Young. You know, that is so rare for any team in any sport to do, to be on a 20-year winning pattern. You know, the Warriors have been winning a lot of games with this current team, with Steph Curry, I'll say. And to just think you were going to do that for the next 10, 15 years with JK is just, you know, so I think he was enamored with his own ego of Johnny Lightyears of being so far ahead of the NBA.
Yeah. Well, I just,
but you're right.
Personnel just wasn't there. You know, there's a lot of things that I think, you know, you could write a dissertation on as to how this all failed. Right. So, but I think at the end of it all, where we're kind of in agreement, it's just greener pastures just probably is the best suit for Kuminga at this point. But yeah, we'll wait to see how it shakes out.